Today we're working on a 2016 Audi Q5. We've got a bit of an oil leak on top of the valve cover here. Hopefully it's the oil separator and the front timing cover. That's what we're going to be replacing today. To get to the oil separator, we're going to remove the ignition coils because there's a bolt hiding underneath it. There's 9 or 10 bolts holding it on, all T30s. And then we're going to remove this PCV hose as well, and that should give us access. The front timing cover is held on by 5 bolts that are either a T30 or a 10mm. There's also a bolt that's holding the dipstick tube on. You can see it down there by the oil filter. And then the variable valve timing cover has a plug right there and 3 T30s holding it on. To get the ignition coils off, pull this tab back, and you have to remove a T30 that holds this wherever it went, this breather thing right here. Take that bolt out, and then there's a bolt that holds this coil on, and this whole assembly will slide off. The ignition coils should pull out by hand. Just give them a little wiggle, and if they don't, you can use a screwdriver to pry them up. With the ignition coils removed, we now have access to the bolts in the oil separator. There's one there, 2, 3, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and back to the beginning. And there's a plug here that needs to be removed as well from the oil separator. Now that all the T30 fasteners are removed, we can remove this PCV hose on the top and bottom. If you just press down on it, it should release. Now that we have the part removed, we've cleaned the surface where it will seal. Here's the part that plugs into it. It just pulls out and it's sealed by that O-ring. There's no clip or anything. And then the PCV breather hose right there. That's all we have to reconnect. That there, put it back down, screw it back on. Here's our new unit, ready to go on. We've got the new oil separator roughly in place. We've got to click this back in. You'll hear it click. There it is. Now we plug this back in. Okay, press that in place. You'll hear it seal. And then we're just going to bolt this back on. For the torquing sequence, you can take a screenshot of this guy here. I believe they're 9 Newton meters, which I've got my torque wrench set to about 80 inch-pounds. And I've torqued them all up, so we are reinstalled. Now that the ignition coils are firmly in place here, and all the connectors are locked in, line up the hole here and this here, and put that T30 back in and tighten it down. Now we'll tackle this front timing cover. This connector, we're going to pull that gray tab out and pull the connector off. Okay, so 3 T30s. That one there. This one also holds the dipstick tube in place. And the third one is down just below this connection here. Now that all 3 bolts are out, we're going to gently pry this off. There it goes. Now we'll start on these 5 timing cover bolts. Now with that bolt free, we can move the dipstick tube over out of the way. Once all 5 bolts are off, we can pry this thing off. I finally got it off after wrestling with it, and I think we made the correct diagnosis because this thing is caked in oil. So, new cam seal and a new timing cover seal, and we'll put it back on. Now we've got our new gaskets in place, and we just need to tighten these back down. Here's our torque sequence for the front timing cover. You can pause the video here. Now that the 5 timing cover bolts are torqued, we've put our cam cover back in place. We're gonna get these bolts by hand, and I can't fit a torque wrench in there, so we're just gonna get them snug. Nothing crazy, they're small bolts. This second bolt here is the one that retains the dipstick tube here. And then we've got to replace that bolt down here under the oil filter to retain the dipstick as well. Now that all 3 bolts are tightened, let's find where our connector went. Okay, and this guy just plugs back in. And it'll click, and then you push that tab forward. Now it's secured. We are done.